Welcome to Holistic Dose, your go-to podcast for big ideas distilled into microdose insights without all the BS. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jeanette.
And today we're going to be talking about spring and summer fashion and beauty. So to kick us off, we're going to play a little game.
Right.
So yeah, here we go. So we're going to list off a couple of the trends from back in our day. You know, I was born in 81 and you're born in... So we're talking about the 90s, right? And some of the things there. So we want to know if we'd still wear it. Absolutely not. Or maybe only to a theme party. Let's start off with a couple of them. Logomania. I know it was so popular with the Dior and the Gucci and Louis. So what would you?
I'm actually a little bit sad about this because I just retired my Louis Vuitton Neverfull because the logos everywhere are out. Yes. So no, not right now.
Yeah, I was never personally into this trend. So blue eyeliner and mascara.
I wouldn't do that now, but I like a little bit of blue eyeshadow.
Yes. For this exact episode, I'm wearing a little bit of purple. And
yeah.
I love it, honestly. Like, it makes my eyes pop because they're green. And I did start looking at some purple eyeshadow, or not just eyeshadow, but mascara rather. Body glitter.
I love glitter.
Really?
So maybe at the beach, like, you know, when we go to the beach, we have that.
I just bought some for our beach.
Yeah. So Tiffany and I have, I don't know who makes it, but it's SPF that has glitter in it.
Yes.
I think that's fun.
Yeah.
But for a regular day, no.
So there's this trend going around on like Insta and TikTok I see, because I'm in the dating circuit, and where women are saying that if you wear glitter. Yes. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So I've seen it called divorce glitter because like you go on a date, you cover yourself in glitter. And so that way, if the guy's married, he's going to get caught because he'll have glitter on him.
Right. Because a man that's spoken for is not going to want to get close up to you because he's going to realize and get it all over himself.
See, that would have backfired though when I was dating Jeff. Jeff always had glitter on him because he had 2 little girls.
Oh.
Yeah. And I mean, every day he'd have glitter on his face, he'd have glitter on his shirt, but it's because his house was actually covered in glitter.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if it ends up in some other place, then it could be, I guess, sus, as they say. So denim everything, especially like double denim.
I hate denim on denim. It is trendy right now.
I love it.
I'm
totally sporting like my Candace Cameron or DJ Tanner like overalls.
But like I wouldn't wear like jeans with this which people are doing. Yeah, but I don't like it.
I love it. But maybe not the way that like Justin and Brittany wore it. That's maybe not my thing. So cargo pants and parachute pants, utility pants.
Cargo pants are okay. I don't have any, but
I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of them on women or men. Just like the whole thing of like all the extra pockets and like, what are you going to store in those pockets? I don't know. I don't think it looks good. That's a no for me. Tube tops and halter tops.
I like them. Yeah. I think they're cute.
I agree. What about chunky highlights?
No, the chunky I love almost everything about the 90s, but the chunky highlights just
wasn't a good
no.
I think it should stay away. What about bell bottoms and flare jeans?
I love them. Yeah.
To come back. Yeah.
I remember in the 90s going through my mom's closet of her old stuff.
Right.
And her saying, I can't believe this is back again.
Yeah. So I was so, like wearing the skinny jeans for the longest, and I still love them, but I just recently bought like a pair with like a little bit more of a flare, Yeah. So switch it up a little bit. So brown matte lipstick.
Oh no.
Yeah, me neither. Like I wore that like crazy. It was like the Revlon, and it was, it was like a la J-Lo wore it so much back then. And
yeah. I think it looks dated.
Yeah. It looks super dated.
It's not flattering.
No, it brings people down. I think they need to just brighten it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Color. Same thing with like overlined black eyeliner.
Yeah, a lot of people are having a hard time, especially I think Gen X, letting go of the under the eye black eyeliner. But I do like the smudgy, like the grunge, like where you would line both top and bottom and then kind of smear it around, and it's like a grungy look that I like.
Yes, I stopped doing the under black eyeliner a couple of years ago, and I'm 43 now, I think. And I remember, it was like about 3 years ago when I stopped putting anything on the bottom. And then when I went to work, some coworkers were like, "Oh my God, your face looks amazing. What did you do differently?" And I'm just like, I just stopped putting liner on the bottom. And they're like, "It just looks, keep doing that. Your face looks so fresh." So I'm like, okay, it just makes your eyes open up. So. Yeah. So that was our little game there. So we're going to talk about some fashion things, for our 30s and our 40s, if these are things that we should follow or not, So how do we, look age appropriate, but still trying to follow and be on trend?
For me, you don't dress from head to toe in the trends.
Right.
And you also don't, you want to look modern. So I think wear mostly timeless pieces and then add a few trends in.
Yeah.
And I think also pay attention to fit and the quality. So don't go to Brandy Melville and buy, or Sheen or Shein, is that how you say it? Or, don't wear ill-fitting stuff and buy the nicer quality fabrics.
Yeah. Singing that, I think, years ago, maybe it was like when I was early in my 30s, it would be the fast fashion really big. And now I'll only go and get a couple of pieces, but I pair it with a little bit more expensive things because it really just helps the outfit stand out. But otherwise, you're just recycling and going through them. They stretch out so fast.
Yeah.
Apart. Ends up being a bigger waste of money, honestly. Yeah, I think so. There's one thing that I do love, and it was so funny. One of my former coworkers, she was saying that, she was talking about this with her sisters because this came up in a conversation with her. This is Carrie. And I started doing a little trend with wearing little hair bows in my hair. I like going halfway up and everything. And then there's a little scrunchie with the bow on it. And they were debating no, she's in her 40s, she shouldn't wear it. And then she's like, no, I think it looks good. And I think it's not overly, I have little gold bow earrings. I don't know.
Yeah. I think if it's just that one thing.
Yeah. It's not
that looks good.
The bows that are on the boots and the hair and the there, then it's maybe a little too youthful perhaps, but I don't know. I like it. I try to follow the whole thing. It's I don't like to follow totally what's on trend. I pick apart certain things that I like and then I go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we recently just did a little fun photo shoot for ourselves for this podcast, and we worked with a personal stylist. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we went to Nordstrom and had a personal stylist, which was so much fun.
How to do it with friends.
Yes. The biggest thing for me, I hate shopping in person.
Me too.
Hate it
Absolutely.
so much. And I end up buying a bunch of stuff online and then not returning it. And then it's just so wasteful. And the nicest thing for me was having someone there to go oh, let me go get a different size or try this size. But I think the biggest thing I learned, I knew that I was long-waisted because our plastic surgeon told me I'm long-waisted when I got my tummy tuck. But apparently that means I need to always pretty much wear high-rise jeans because I'm so long in the middle. And I didn't realize that. But I noticed when she brought the high rise and I compared it to the low rise ones that I wore, actually I think they're probably mid rise, but on me, they looked low rise.
Right. Because of your proportions.
Exactly. It looked so much better. So that was awesome. But yeah, there were a few different trends that I really liked that we got. I know one that you weren't so fond of was the raw edge jeans.
I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I like it on other people, but maybe just not on myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple pairs and I really like it. I think it's cute. Something I was surprised by were barrel jeans everywhere.
I can't get down with that.
Yeah.
I just can't. It looks like this person's legs are
bow-legged.
Or they have a horse stuck between their legs. I can't. I know that there's certain brands that they're more extreme than others.
Yeah. So when they first came out, was it last year or the year? I don't remember. When they first came out, I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing.
Have you ever seen somebody wear it paired with those camel toe shoes?
Oh God, I know what you're talking about. That's terrible.
Horrible. If you guys don't know about it, then you gotta look it up.
But something I did see at Nordstrom is there were the barrel leg jeans everywhere, but some of them you didn't realize at first they were barrel leg.
Yeah, they're a little less severe.
Yeah, it's less severe. I mean, I don't hate those. I don't think I'd buy them, but it was all right.
Yeah. I know. Another big trend that we saw, it's about the sheer and lace print bodysuits. You got a really beautiful one, and you're wearing a beautiful
I don't know if you can see it today. Right, I have my lace skirt. Yeah, a lot of lace, a lot of it sheer see-through. One that I cannot get into, but maybe someone very young, maybe someone in their 20s, were these lace skirts that were unlined, and so they're completely see-through, but then they had like the bottom of a bodysuit.
Yeah.
Almost like panties.
Yes.
And I have seen that on Pinterest. And it can be cute. It's not, I don't think it's cute for me at 46.
I don't think so. Yeah. Not for me either.
Maybe a teenager or someone real young.
What was really helpful, when we went with her too, because we were just trying to figure out our size and our styling and everything. She went and pre-pulled a bunch of styles for us. So we felt like we got a good start. And we walked the full floor with her, got a sense of pieces and things that we gravitated towards. And it was interesting because I could immediately look at something and say, that would look great on you. And then you're like, the reverse. Yeah. But then she found things when she got to know us a little bit better that she's like, I think that would look really good on you. And I'm like, really? I don't know. And it just it pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful.
Yeah. Something else I learned was to try on different sizes. Okay.
Yes.
So there was this Alice and Olivia dress. I think
Yeah.
it's the one that's going to be on the front of our podcast cover, actually.
Mhm.
This really cute leopard
The
dress.
leopard.
And they didn't have my typical size.
Yeah.
And
Or what you
so
think your
what I
size.
thought was my
Yeah.
size, and both you and the stylist were like,
Mhm.
well, try this. It was size 2, which
Right.
I was like, there's no way.
Mhm.
And it fit. So I have everything from what we bought, everything from a size 2 to a size 6.
Yeah.
The jacket I'm wearing today is an extra, extra small, but then I
Right.
have a medium and a skirt.
Yeah.
So, and that's something else about ordering online.
It makes
You
it really
really
hard.
do need to go in person.
I think even just to learn the brands, because like you said,
Yeah.
there's certain brands that the way that they fit, you know, is
But
totally different.
Alice and Olivia, a pair of pants I didn't get, the
Mhm.
leopard print pants,
Oh, yeah.
those were a 6. But then
Right.
the dress in Alice and Olivia, 2.
I
No
know a
rhyme
lot
or
of those.
reason.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it can really just pull down your whole morale if you're like, wow, I'm not fitting into this. Don't even worry about that. And that was the cool thing about it, is that she just wasn't searching for sizes. She was searching for what she visually looked like. Okay, you would look great in this. Just try it on, you know, and not worried about the numbers.
I think one of the hardest things is if you're in between the regular size and plus size.
Yeah.
To where for us now, the size of our body, that size variation is not so big of a deal.
Yeah.
But like when I was like 14, or sometimes I'd need a 16 women's.
Right.
Oh, that was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because then you might not even, Nordstrom is good about, they have a pretty good plus size section.
Yeah.
But sometimes it would mean you can't even get something at the same store.
Well, that too. And a lot of the brands, they don't take the size inclusivity. They think that just like simply enlarging it, but not really adjusting proportions is going to do it. And it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
It looks like they just basically scaled it up, but didn't really accommodate to the body size. That's unfortunate. What other things that we see there that I think we saw a lot of, like floral prints were really big.
Tons of floral,
so pretty.
gingham,
like garden.
Yeah, lemons, and like pretty color, like pastel yellow is really big. Yeah. Pale yellow, like buttery yellow.
And then I think like a lot of linen, like
tons of linen
textures, and you know, more structured pieces. A lot of the vests, the matching vests with the matching shorts or the slacks. I really loved a lot of those.
Yeah,
those
were so it's super fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the, you know, the hot items there that can be, you know, controversial, right? So do we dare bare our midriffs?
So I don't know what not that there's really a right answer to any of this.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money for my midriff.
Yeah.
And my midriff looks better than it did when I was 16.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bare my damn midriff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to do it like at a work, but like a little bit. Yeah.
So, and here's where I think there's just ways to do it. Like, I think just a plain old tube top and a pair of shorts. No, I shouldn't go to lunch in a tube top and a pair of shorts. Right. But a look that I really love is a tube top with linen pants and then the linen unbuttoned shirt over it.
Totally.
Or a blazer. I've seen blazers
like
over the tube tops look really cute. So if it's styled right, I think absolutely.
Yeah, and even it looks really great with a high-waisted pant too.
Yeah.
I love that look.
Yeah, you're not showing a huge amount of skin. It's just like kind of a gap.
Exactly. And same thing with the oversized blazers over the mini dresses. I think that's nice. Maybe back in our 20s, we were just going to straight up wear the mini dresses alone, but now we're pairing it with playing with proportions, I think is really important. Yeah, it helps you stay cool for the summer and for the spring.
I have a hard time with oversized, which is really in right now. I saw a TikTok.
I feel like I naturally have oversized now that everything is so big on me.
Yeah, for me, like even when I was bigger, I felt like oversized just makes me look even bigger. Yeah. And then now that I'm small, I'm like, oversized doesn't show off how small I am. But I saw a TikTok the other day. I've seen a few actually saying that the fitted denim's no longer in, the fitted denim jackets. And I literally just bought this fitted denim jacket. And
I just don't.
I'm wearing it. And then I looked at, like some inspiration photos and stuff. And I just don't like the really oversized denim, like you're swimming in it.
Yeah. It's like a little bit, but yes. I'm so used to feeling like I've lost all this weight and now things are hanging on me. And then do they just look sloppy?
That's how I feel with most oversized.
So there's a balance there. That's where like these overalls that I have, they're big on me and these are Free People. And I'm not normally a Free People fan because it's maybe a little too like boho for me personally. I know you like it, but then I pair it with a belt. So then it says
it cinches. Exactly.
I think that's accessorizing is all about it. So doing those balances there.
Yeah. And then I've seen like if you're wearing oversized on top, wear a more tailored trouser, or if you're wearing like baggy pants, do a more like fitted bodysuit on top. So you have those proportions.
Exactly. Yeah, and in talking about boho style, I like some pieces of it.
I love boho so much. It's
Yeah.
like my favorite. And really today, like my skirt is boho, but kind of the iconic designer of boho is Chloe. So,
Mhm.
you know, if anyone's like, well, you know, what is the boho that's trending now? Like just Google Chloe and
Right.
even like spring and summer of 2025. And it's
Mhm.
very sheer, flowy fabric. It's so feminine.
So if you can just move easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other is Zimmerman, which have you seen?
No.
So Zimmerman is boho, but they're very floral. Like everything is like, it's almost like Laura Ashley, but not dated like Laura Ashley, right? I mean, it really is like flowers everywhere, but it is also boho. Chloe's more not prints, just like solid and sheer fabrics. And neither of those are affordable. And Chloe, you know, a dress is like $3,000. So I have seen a lot of like Chloe inspired stuff that's more affordable. Mango's one that did a lot of extremely similar to Chloe. Now the difference is Mango, it's all polyester, and Chloe, it's all silk. But you know, that's okay if I'm paying $100 versus $2,000 for a blouse.
Just to get the, you know, to follow the trend for the moment.
Exactly. Like a few little pieces. Also, let's see some other brands who are doing, Free People has lots, you know, very boho. Some of it's good. Some Free People's hit or miss.
Yeah.
But they have some really cute pieces. The skirt I'm wearing today is what was it called? Oh, I can't remember the name of it.
Polly Princess?
Princess Polly.
That's typically like a very 20-year-old brand.
So most of that is not stuff that I would wear, but this is a maxi skirt.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. So, you know, I have looked at some of their other stuff and it's very like short and fitted and like very young. I really like All Saints. All Saints is edgy and then they have some boho. And that's really big right now too, is like pairing some of the moto or leather edgy with the boho, like a long flowy, you know, boho skirt with moto boots or the leather jacket. And so All Saints is kind of that look. And then another one, I own nothing except shoes from them, but Zadig and Voltaire.
Oh yeah.
It's like a French brand and it's not cheap, but it's more affordable
and I always think about it like, maybe was it you that said you feel different about like investing in the shoes? Like I prefer to invest more into shoes because it's like they can really make and change the outfit, and I feel like you get more use out of them. So I don't mind spending more money on them.
One thing I have from Zadig and Voltaire is a pair of shoes. There's like these cute sneakers. And then the one thing I have from Chloe is a handbag because I'm like, okay, this is like timeless. It'll last a long time. But yeah, the boho stuff is very in right now.
What about like, I think it was last year that capri pants came back and you were wanting
pants.
I'm like, no, Jeanette. No, I think just with your height,
I'm not tall.
Like it cuts people off.
It does. I mean, it's not good for lengthening your body. But I think of Audrey Hepburn, like Audrey Hepburn, flats. Yeah, with flats or like a little kitten heel.
Yeah.
It can be cute even with flip flops, like capri flip flops. Sometimes a flip flop with a little heel. The denim vest that people are wearing now.
Yes, I could see that with
capris. They probably made me look stubby, but
the tennis looks and the pleated skirts. Like I don't play any tennis, but I'm like, I will so dress cute tennis wear. Like I'm all for like.
See, that's my stepdaughter.
I have some of these like pleated like skirts type things, and I like love them.
My stepdaughter, the pleated skirt. Apparently, the brand is called Goop.
12-year style.
Yeah, I know. So I think just because Autumn loves that stuff, I like think about Autumn. You know, like young. It might totally be in an age appropriate. But have you heard of the brand Gold Hinge? I hadn't until Autumn. But it's like the pleated. I think that the pleated skirts we see on Amazon is probably a knockoff of Gold Hinge, or
probably.
But she's also really into Free People, but not as much of the same type of boho stuff that I am.
It's like when, you know, they did this polls online about if you see people in the gym and the length of their socks, you know how old they are. Because we all wear the crew socks. So then I'm like, or the ankle socks, you know, then I see my daughter's long ones. So now her socks are all missing. And she's like, Mommy, where are my socks?
And you're taking them?
I'm taking them.
That's funny. So I had a hard time in the winter and fall doing the leggings with the crew socks.
Yeah.
But I did because every time my stepdaughter saw me, she made fun of me. And she's like, that looks so dumb with the ankle socks. And so I did. And I got used to it. But now she tells me, Jeanette, the ankle socks are back. So I can't keep up. I don't know.
Right. So that's where it's kind of like you do what feels good.
Yeah.
But to me, it makes it makes more sense, honestly, because in the winter when I would go out for walks or go to the gym.
Yeah, you want your ankles covered.
And it never occurred to me to get longer socks. And I was like, okay, this works. How about the statement flats? Are you?
Yeah, not much. I have some like Rothy's. Are you familiar with Rothy's?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them because I just feel like they end up looking so beat up over time, but maybe they're just supposed to be.
Yeah. So I have some Rothy's. I don't have a lot of flats and definitely not statement flats.
Yeah. I used to have more of those, but not that much anymore. I do love sandals for spring and summer for sure. And something with like a little bit more like studs or jewelry looking on it, but not quite like a statement with like a brooch or anything like that.
Yeah. Birkenstocks are real big now. So I just got myself a pair of the Birkenstocks, the big buckle. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit more modern than like what we wore in the 90s.
I just feel always bruised on the bottom when I wear them. My sister got me like a patent leather ones like years ago, and I think it's just because I have such flat feet. Like I feel like I'm bruised always. I don't know. I like want to like them and wear them, but what about the boat shoes?
Remember Sperry Topsiders? Is that still the brand? I don't know. I've seen. And I remember I wore Sperry's with like shorts and that's one I'm not gonna do.
I never wore that one. I like a driver shoe, but not the boat shoe with the laces.
Yeah,
I'm not like that much into that. You know, what about like the Adidas?
I love Adidas, and I have a pair of Adidas Sambas. I'm still wearing them. I think Sambas are, I don't know if they're timeless, but they're still okay to wear. They're not like out and dated, but they're not trending as strong as I think they were maybe a couple years ago. But there's also the Tokyo, and there's different styles that at different times are trending, but I think they're cute.
Well, when it was, you know, Adidas, if anybody has not seen this, did you see their whole AI generated campaign? Oh my God, that is amazing.
Really?
Yes. So when you mentioned the Tokyo, I wasn't familiar. I'm like, oh, I thought you were mentioning that. They, you know, came out with this, not our AI generated whole photo and video shoot. Everything in there was AI generated, including like the people, the scenes, the product, people after that. Yeah. So they, you know, AI generated all this beautiful floral prints on these sneakers and clothes, and then everybody wants the product after, and it's not real. So I think that's a cool way to use AI generated things to test the market.
For producing
stuff. Totally. But
very interesting.
Exactly. So let's see. You mentioned a couple stores that you love.
Yeah. So let's see what you think about this. So I think it was a year ago. I was wearing a pair of shoes and they were, what is that style? It's like, I was kind of a wedge, I guess, or platform. And it had what's the stuff that's like the reed looking, what's the word?
The cork?
No, it's not cork. It almost looks like a basket. Like it's like woven and that fabric.
Like wicker.
Yeah, I'm blanking out on what it's called. I don't know. But, and then it had like leather straps and you're like, oh, those are really cute. And I said, they're orthotic. Yes. And the brand is called A-Trek. They are so comfortable.
Really?
And it's like, they're very smushy and they're just so comfortable.
I have to check it out. I get the worst foot cramps. So I need something with
Yeah. And so there's a store in Metro Atlanta called Abadaba's.
I've still not been there.
It's great. And they have a lot of Birkenstocks, but they also have Bionic and
it's the one that my chiropractor keeps recommending for my feet. And I'm like, he's like, there's a stylish brand.
Some of the stuff looks like orthotics and I wouldn't be caught dead in them. But others, I'm like, that's actually really cute and really comfortable. But then sometimes I wonder, is it cute or am I just,
As far as fashion accessories go, I love, like, if I'm not going to be investing the money to refresh an outfit entirely, I love just getting a cool earring or necklace or something. A little pro tip I always try to tell people, because I'm super introvert, but I push myself to be extroverted. People would never know that. I just get more energetic, recharged when I'm solo. But I always make sure to like put like a cool statement piece on, because this is immediately a conversation starter. It's hard, us trying to meet friends at this age too, going to places, but I feel like that's an immediate thing that people are going to be like, oh my God, where did you get that? And then a conversation starts. So I think even if you're not investing in updating your outfits, you can get like really cute, like costume jewelry. I found a lot of great stuff on Amazon, at Mango, Zara, all those places.
Yeah, I'm really bad about accessorizing. Like I will find things that I like and then I will stick to them. I'll wear the same earrings. The star necklace, I think, and I started wearing this before we started losing weight. So like 4 or 5 years.
Wear it forever. I'm always like, you got to fresh up your jewelry a little bit.
I sleep in it. I shower in it. So I'm really bad about
I love
accessorizing.
Yeah. So what about for our 40 plus unfiltered friends? Let's talk about the fast fashion dupes, right? So I think we talked a little bit about that earlier, that it's just, to me, it's not worth it, like filling the landfill with a lot of these brands that you're going to throw away.
Yeah, so much. I would say almost all of what we wear is technically fast fashion. But, I think that the really bad ones are like the Forever 21 and the Shein
Old Navy,
and yeah, I will buy like cotton tanks from Old Navy, which I mean, I don't know, I'm fine with it. I think with like a cotton tank, you just can't really tell. But I do think with like the cheapest of the fast fashion, it ends up falling apart. Or you end up throwing it away. Have you seen like the documentaries or the stuff about Ghana and how, oh my God. And I don't even remember how this ended up happening. Somehow all of our discarded clothes, for some reason we shipped them to Ghana. Look it up because I don't remember why that happened. But Ghana is literally covered in like buried.
Really?
The beaches are covered.
Oh my God, we have to do better.
Clothes, and it is horrifying. Yeah, look it up because we really do need to not dispose of our clothing, buy better brands that hold together. And at least if I'm buying Old Navy and it's cotton, it's biodegradable.
Right.
So if you're buying like all of the polyester and the really cheap stuff that you're going to throw away in a year, that's the stuff that's just so horrible for the environment.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. What do you think about the chunky dad sneakers?
I don't like the chunky dad sneaker.
Me neither. I think like it's just generationally like so different. I've seen like a lot of social videos about like what people like the generations are wearing to like go out for dancing or to clubs or things.
I have seen that people wear sneakers now.
Like, oh my God. To each their own. Another last thing too, before we cover beauty and makeup, the mesh ballet flats. I can't get down with these.
I thought about buying a pair last year and then I was like, I don't know. I might have actually bought a cheap pair from Amazon.
I'm just not feeling it, I don't know.
I agree.
Let's move on to cover some beauty.
Absolutely.
So we are all trying to age gracefully over here. And let's talk about Botox and fillers, because that's a hot topic always.
Yeah. Yep.
I started telling you a story and then I'm like, no, wait, I'll share to talk about it here. And you were like, where is this going? And how does this even relate to what we're talking about? I'm like, just wait. So I think it's like surprising whenever people are like, the ones who don't do Botox or fillers or anything like that, when I tell them personally that, no, I get Botox or I get lip fillers, they're like, wait, what? Because there's all different ranges of what,
they assume that you'll have like that pillow face.
Yeah, like exactly. And no, my woman, she does it very conservatively to start, and you can always go back in like 2 weeks and add a little bit more. But I started telling you this story where I was going on a date once and the Uber driver was driving us and he was talking about how he was seeing some woman and he was like, I was doing all the things. I was sending her flowers, this, that. And she was a very smart, successful woman and, blah, blah, blah. And then he basically said, like, he was sad because it kind of like flopped. Like, she basically said she was no longer interested in him. And I'm like, okay. And he attributed it to the fact that she gets Botox.
What?
Yes. So he started saying how, like, did you know, like, studies show now that women who get Botox, they don't have emotions.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've heard of this. And it's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
But also I was like, so the guy I was on the date with, and he had to listen to this and they were kind of like, yeah. And I'm just like, I mean, I get it. I mean, I guess I didn't see him again after that. That was our last date. So maybe that was an issue. But it was so interesting to me. And I was just like, no. Yes, your expressions might be minimized in some ways, but that doesn't mean like you don't have emotion.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
But that's not why she didn't continue with you. Yeah. Maybe like he was an Uber driver and that was his career and she was a career-driven woman and she wanted more.
Yeah, there's so many other reasons that I'm sure have nothing to do with Botox.
I was thinking like, no, it wasn't because she couldn't like emotionally connect to you.
That's so ridiculous.
I was like, no, but that was the first.
Yeah, so I think Botox is great. I've actually started doing disc work, which I'd never done before, but I love it because it kicks in quicker. So I think I'll stick to the disc
I metabolize like really fast with it, but I tend to do better with Botox. I just stick with that. But I've done both before.
Yeah, so I like that. And then fillers. So a few years ago, I spent a whole bunch of money on fillers and then felt like it wasn't
Where did you
great.
do them?
I did them at...
So I didn't know like in your...
Okay, so I got under eye filler because I had like pretty bad tear troughs. I got some cheek filler. I got some like my marionette lines here and like the edges of my mouth to kind of push it up. And then I do think I got a little bit of my marionette lines here. It was a lot. And I felt like it was like such a minimal difference. And I think it was like $3,000.
It's a lot.
And I'm like, I'm looking at my face and I don't feel like there was a $3,000, difference here.
Right.
So I stopped doing the fillers and I still do the Botox, but then our plastic surgeon was training people. And so I got a freebie. Yeah. And so this was a little over a year ago. I think I got a lot of cheek filler. And now because I've lost so much weight, like my face has fallen. So I got a lot of cheek filler and then I did some lip filler. And it's interesting. I've seen lately some information about how filler doesn't dissolve as fast as we thought it did. And some people are going in for facelifts. And it's been years since they've had filler and some of it's still in there. This one woman had an MRI. And have you seen like the MRI? It's really interesting.
Yes. I think that's the ones who just go overboard.
Maybe.
Honestly.
Yeah. But for my lip filler, it's been over a year and I can still tell on my upper lip. It's not huge. It's not drastic because I wasn't going for something.
Mine goes away so fast.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well,
and I have like really small lips naturally.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, I'm just going to get a facelift in a few years and that's probably better bang for my buck.
Well, I went to get my Botox like last week. I think it was that we did it. Yeah. I did get some in my neck.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, like it used to be a lot more banding lines, but now it's a little bit more smoother and I like it.
The injector I used last time told me all kinds of things I could do. There's apparently one that can help joweling.
Okay.
And I can't remember where exactly she said it went. I mean, at some point, you just have to cut it off. Because she told me about that ones with the neck banding. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $2,000 on Botox.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was almost that with everything. But yeah, as far as you and I are very unfiltered, we share everything we do and there's no problems. I do have other friends in my life who are just like, they like to celebrate. It's almost like a badge of honor that they don't do this and they don't do that. I'm like, do whatever.
Who cares?
I don't care.
Right.
Like you're not any better because you don't do it. Or, if you say that and then you come back later on, you're like, oh, actually I've tried this. Cool. I think my stance is like, you do what makes you happy and there should be no judgment around it,
Yeah. And this stuff is safe. Like it's been around for a long time. Yeah. People are like, oh, you're injecting botulism. Like, I mean, don't order it off the gray market and do it yourself. The stuff that you get at the doctor's office is perfectly fine.
Oh my gosh, I know. So what about skincare? I know that for me, I get so overwhelmed.
So what do you do? Like, what's your skincare?
I feel like I don't have like a specific routine. I order so many different things and then I make sure I try to do a bunch of them at least.
Really?
But it's not, I do want to subscribe to the one that you got because I just need a system. I feel so overwhelmed. If I remember to take off my mascara or, the creams, I try to always get creams morning and night, and refresh with sprays during the day, but I'm just not consistent with it.
Yeah.
Like what works for you?
So I'm a skincare junkie and it's really because of our friend Amanda. So when Amanda and I and you were in our early 30s, it was like around when our kids were being born. She went to a cosmetic dermatologist and asked like, okay, what do I really need to be doing for like anti-aging skincare? Yeah. And then she would pass along all the information to me. And what I learned then is you can get almost everything you need at the drugstore. Like a truly good skincare, you do not need to be spending a bunch of money. Right. You don't need to be getting it all at Sephora. It's not about the pretty packaging and the nice fragrance. So here are like the key ingredients. So first with face wash, CeraVe and Cetaphil are the best. That's what I have my daughter. If you have dry skin, there's the hydrating one. Otherwise, I think there's like a more like a clear like daily one. But is your skin getting dry now that you're getting older? Mine's drying out. Yeah, it's a little bit. So also I had like horrible acne as a teenager. Really? I don't think anybody would even know, but it was so bad, like so bad. It used to be over oily now, and I would say it's like, combination. Yeah, I used to be oily and then ever since I turned about 40, it just keeps getting drier and drier. So I was the overall, I'm dry. So I use the hydrating CeraVe. And then the next step in the mornings is like, do you use an alpha hydroxy or beta hydroxy in AHA? So this Yes, this is a chemical exfoliant. In the day is the next step. So I use AHA, and that is better for dry skin and for like wrinkles and discoloration. BHA penetrates and like cleans out your pores. So people with acne, oily skin will want the BHA. I like Paula's Choice, but which is like a Sephora or whatever brand, but you can find stuff at the drugstore too. Paula's Choice is so easy to just order online. I do like Sephora points and all that. So I use Paula's Choice for that. Then you want an antioxidant serum because that helps with discoloration and like protecting your skin against the environment. So I use a vitamin C cream. And the vitamin C helps with lightening like my freckles and all that. And I do Paula's Choice for that too.
We're gonna have to drop all this in.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So vitamin C. And then I moisturize on top of that because I'm dry. So then my moisturizer, I've been using what is it called? First Aid Beauty Ultra Healing Cream. The only reason I did that is it has something like called colloidal oatmeal.
I didn't even know this until a couple of years ago. Someone had told me about this, but it's so important when you're traveling to wear it, like on the airplane. You're closest to the sun and the rays, like super important.
Or people who are in the car a lot. Like, have you seen the picture of the truck driver that was like, this was the side that was by the window?
I've seen like gloves, maybe get gloves if I start driving a lot.
So UV protection is so important. Then at night, my nighttime routine.
Even it's important, honestly, if you're indoors with lights. It's like everywhere.
And so then the evening routine has more stuff. So let's see what I do. I do my regular wash. I don't do the AHA because I'm using other active ingredients and it irritates me. But the tretinoin is really probably the most important thing for nighttime.
That's what I need. I ran out of. I need to get back on.
And
there's like a little bit of a waiting period. I think like when I first got on it, that even some people don't realize is that your skin's going to get bad before it gets better, and you have to really push through.
And it will. It's a total pain, but it is like the most effective anti-aging topical product that you can get is the tretinoin. And some people just can't tolerate it. I try for a while. You try to build up in strength and frequency, but if you absolutely can't tolerate it, then you can do an over-the-counter retinol. But it's just not going to have the same effects with like wrinkles.
I'm just mad at myself that I like lapsed in reordering it because now I have to go through that.
I did the same thing like a couple of years ago, and I mean it's been like a year of getting back on it, and I'm still like dealing with some of the peeling and whatever. So the tretinoin, I use hydroquinone. I use a really high, like 12%, which you get from like telehealth company. You can't get it easily, but it really does like take my freckles and melasma. I get melasma on my upper lip, which I think a lot of women do. And that really helps. And then I just do the moisturizer. I guess that sounds like a lot of stuff, but it's not.
I just need to find a system for myself. Like I think I need to do it with everything, honestly. These steps in these order, you know?
I mean, once you get into the routine, like I think nothing of it.
Exactly. What about dyeing your hair?
So I've dyed my hair since I was probably 12. Like when I was in middle school, I thought
because your hair is naturally like a little bit more of a red tone. Do you consider yourself a redhead or?
Don't know. So I have stopped dyeing my hair for the first time since I was 12 years old. I have a little bit of gray.
You can.
And really, I didn't know if it was noticeable or not. I see it like just a tiny bit. I think all of this right here is my natural. I have extensions in, and I do notice like a red tone in these. I'm not sure if my natural hair has that. And if it does, is it more just from the sun? The reason I don't know is because have you been following like all the color analysis like on social media? And I have gone down that color analysis rabbit hole. And I am convinced that I am cool tone. Like I am 99.9% sure.
It was like you're better with like silvers.
Silver looks better. And then so I'm pretty sure I'm cool toned, and you can't be a redhead if you're cool toned. All redheads are warm toned. I can't actually have red, can I? If I'm a redhead, then it's completely going to throw me through a loop.
Well, do you plan on embracing the gray, or are you going to color it? Or are you just deciding?
If I get more, I think I'll color it. I stopped because it just was a pain. Like when I was getting the extensions, and I would have to color it and then get the extensions. It was just a lot. So
I think because my hair is naturally blonde, but then I got balayage, and I don't see the grays coming in if they are coming in. I don't know, but I'm just going to keep glowing over it. It's not something that like I see a lot of people who embrace like going full gray and looks great on them. I'm not sure that I'm ready for that yet. Like even I never was into the platinum blonde look because I didn't like the way it looked on me.
I've seen some people look really good with gray hair, like going all gray or doing the gray blending with like some like kind of like, almost like highlights, or I don't know. I don't have enough that I need any of that yet. But if I started getting a lot of gray, I absolutely would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've covered a lot today. Spring and summer 2025. Are you ready for it? It's all about embracing beauty trends and going natural and a little bit more of in our makeup, in our, skincare, but and comfort and elegance. Is there anything else?
Yeah. So boho is just something I'm really embracing as the floral and the flowy and the boho look and having fun with it.
We hope you were inspired to try something new today. And I'm going to put in the notes, like I have one woman that I follow on TikTok. Her name is Erica Taylor 2347.
Oh, she's great. Yeah. Is she the one that's like over 40 makeup stuff?
Yeah. I love her. So, that's one great to reference. And a moment of gratitude. I was going to share a little bit of like a cute story this week. I was at Nordstrom with my daughter Gabby, like shopping for stuff for like more outfits for our photo shoot, right? And I picked out a pair of shoes and I went to show them to her. And I was like, what do you think about these shoes? They would go really great with that denim dress. And she's like, shop for the clothes, not for the outfits. And I was like, wait, what? Like, where did you get that from? That's actually so smart. And she's like, I don't know. I just came up with it in my head. And I was like, wow. Like, I just felt like in that
moment, for the specific piece.
Yeah, she's like, fine. Rather than looking at an item and say that, oh, these shoes would look great with that one dress I bought. She's like, find a piece that you love and you're going to get more versatility out of it and use. And then I was like, you know what? That's so smart. And it was a moment of like, I feel like I've done something good and inspired something within her. But then I have a moment of gratitude for our relationship and the bond that we can share. Because she's not into shopping for herself as much, but she's into saying, yes, that looks good. No, it doesn't. And giving me real, honest opinions. And like, that just makes me so happy.
Yeah. So as far as my moment of gratitude, nothing's coming off the like top of my head from in the past, but I am very grateful that we are going to the beach next week.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm glad that you and Gabby can come because our kids always get really excited when Gabby's there. What is it about kids where it's like, if a friend is there, it's so much better. Heaven forbid you hang out with your siblings.
And that allows us to record more episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll knock out some podcasts and social media stuff and relax a bit.
Totally. So if you've laughed, nodded along, or felt seen, hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with your friends. And follow us along on social. All of our handles are at Holistic Dose on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more fun. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll be back next week with more Unfiltered Friend Talk right here on A Holistic Dose.
Thanks, everyone.